Alright guys, in this episode we're going to be giving away another US Marine minifigure. All you have to do to have a chance to win this is leave a like on the video, comment down below, and make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. I'll be giving this guy away in next week's episode. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Building Vietnam in Lego. Today what we're going to be focusing on is I have a bunch of these plates here. These are 16 by 16 white plates. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to finish elevating this whole section. This is the side that will have the city, like the markets, different buildings and whatnot. So my goal is, and last week we worked on this section here, I'm going to try to finish elevating all of this section here, and then we're also going to continue elevating. You can see where those tan bricks are in between there. That's going to be like a trench slash part of the city. So we're going to figure out what we want to do over there. And I did order the 1x2x5 dark bluish gray parts that will be the border, so you guys won't see this section right here. That'll be good. That comes in probably in the next 2 weeks, so we got a while for that. And then I also ordered more 4x6s in green. I think I ordered, I want to say 400 of them. That should be more than enough to not only do the rice fields, but then the jungle that's behind that. And that way we'll have the border will be done, so this will all be nice and dark bluish gray all the way around. And then we'll also be able to start elevating some of those green plates. That's another thing we could start if we wanted to. We could start elevating some of those over by the rice fields and whatnot. So we might do that as well. So it's going to be a lot of plates being laid down, making this mock raise up 5 studs. That way we can have a cool tunnel system. You can see here that this minifigure is clearly under, if I put a plate over him, he's got I would say maybe almost a brick of clearance above his helmet. So that's the goal. We're going to start working on that right now. Okay, so it's currently the next day. This is what I've got going on. So I took all these 16 by 16 white plates I had. I believe it was those two, it was almost 10, I believe. So I added all those. So now if I kind of zoom back, you can see there we're almost covering, if I move this is the city section here. So we're almost completely done covering that. So I ran out of white 16 by 16 plates. I think there's a couple more in here. These are all those are some dark tan 16 by 16s. I just got to take all the parts off. This is all parts from D-Day and whatnot. So I got to go through all that. And what I'm doing now is, since I can't fit one more here, I'm having to come in here with these 4x6s, and basically I'm putting 2 here, and then I'll take parts like this and I'll finish off that last section once I get the parts in for the border. So that's why, I gotta wait for all those to come in. But basically I started off by using a bunch of 1x1 bricks, and I was putting 4 1x1s and then a 1x4, and basically making a little arch support for these plates. Then you can see, that's a lot of bricks, and I realized let's just do something like this, where I find the longest pieces I can, that's a 1x12 I think, another 1x10 or 6 or 4, and you can see these are just as strong. And look at how much less bricks I'm using right there. I'm probably using more right here than I am right there. So I'm trying to save as many of these bricks as I can, because we have to elevate this whole mock 5 studs, which is a lot. That's more than any of my other mocks. Most of my mocks, like D-Day, it was just 1 brick tall, and then you put the plate on top. So I'm really trying to think this through as much as I can. So I'm gonna finish going through here, basically putting plates like this all the way to there, and then I'm going to start, if I have any left, just start kind of filling in this gap as much as I can. And then you can see I started laying out some green plates. These are the 4x6s that I have on hand. I probably got maybe 100 or so, plus all of the kind of mixed plates back there. Once again, I don't have a lot of green parts. I ordered more of these like I mentioned, and I have an idea of how I want to do this, but I'm thinking I might want to wait until I get the border parts, but I don't think we're going to have time to wait for that, because those are going to take probably 2 or 3 weeks to get here. So I'm going to have to start figuring that out. So I might have to start elevating those as well, but we are going to have to wait for the border for probably this first row. So I'm probably going to have to start with this row and do that. So there'll be a gap temporarily, but that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to go ahead, finish this, do as much as I can right here, and then I'll probably, like I said, start the second row start doing that because all this is going to be green. And then this down here, we'll probably do a base layer of like dark tan because it's going to mostly be covered by green and dark green plates, so it doesn't really matter. Same with this, you know, it's white, but it'll be all like gray buildings and colorful stuff on top, so it doesn't matter what you see. So I'm going to get back to it. I'm going to finish that first, then we'll move on over there. So I want to show you guys a couple things that I'm working on over here. I do want to show you real quick. I got this section done. We still have like this little section in here to finish, but we'll work on that. I wanted to take a break from this section and start getting some of these green plates elevated. So like I said, we're gonna skip this first row and we're gonna start with the second row. The reason for that is, like I said, I'm waiting on, if I can grab it, I ordered 350 of these. So these will go right here, and we gotta wait for those because those will be the support on this front side of the plate. So we're gonna start and we're going to work on this one more plate behind that until we get those in. So that's totally fine. That way we can actually start working on this. But what I'm doing is I'm laying out a bunch of 2x2s, as you can see, and they're spaced out. So you can see if I drop a plate on there, the corners line up. And for example, I can just kind of keep going with it if I don't mess this up, like that, so on and so forth. So they're supported by the corners. These are short enough plates as far as being 6 long that they don't flex. You only have to support them on the 4 corners, and they are plenty strong. But so the reason I laid out all these is what I'm doing is I'm going to put down these bricks so I know where to stack other bricks, and then when I come in and I take 1x1s that are stacked in 3s, and I'm going to put them on there, then put a 2x2 on top, just like I did for all in here to hold up these plates. Now, that's going to require a lot of 1x1s. I mean, that's going to be, let's see, 12 1x1s, because 3 times 4, oh no, it'd be, yeah, 3 times 4, yeah. So that's going to require 12 1x1s for every brick you see here. So that's 12, 24, 36, 48, you know, boom, boom, boom. That's a lot. So I'm like, how can I cut that down? And because what I'm really worried about is we have to elevate this whole Mach 5 studs. I don't think I'm going to have enough like filler brick to do that. So I'm like worried about that. So I'm trying to figure out ways that I can get around that. One of the ways that I thought of is, what if we only put, if it'll focus here, the 1x1s on 2 of the corners. So you can see how there's only 6 1x1s. And then I put the 2x2 on top, and I put a plate on there, and it's plenty strong. I mean, that's just as strong as if we did a solid stack similar to that. So that's going to cut down our 1x1 usage in half, which is a big deal. So there's another look. You can see I'm just, if I take this off, you can see that's what I'm doing there. So, and then I'm just putting one of these on top to kind of even out and spread the load over a larger surface. So just little things like this can save you a lot of money, and not only a lot of money, a lot of bricks, but a lot of time, because now I only have to put down 2 stacks of 3 on all these versus 4. So you can see how it, you know, trying new things like this took me 2 seconds to try. You know, at first it did that. You can see how that brick failed, and I was like, oh no, this isn't going to work. But if you actually get the plate on there, it is plenty strong. Like I'm putting probably, you know, 10 pounds of pressure or 20 pounds of pressure on this with my palm if I stand up. So that's plenty strong for what we're doing. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to go ahead, start doing that for this section, and we're going to start elevating as many of these plates as we can. I'd like to get through all those. That's not going to last us long. That might get us done what we have set up here, but I'm going to go ahead and keep working on that. But I wanted to show that tip. I'm trying to show more tips and tricks because I know that's kind of the reason I've been doing these mock series, and a lot of you guys have been asking for other building tips. So I'm trying to show new things, and I just came up with this one, and I'm really liking it. I wish I would have done it for all this. It's not worth, you know, tearing this apart anymore unless I'm really low on bricks. But like I said, I got plenty in there, and 1x1s are pretty cheap. So that's kind of where we're going to be going. So the rest of this mock is going to be elevated like this, the smart way versus the more times, you know, this just took longer than it should have. So that's what we're going to work on. I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll come back to you when I got some more progress. One more thing I wanted to mention, as I'm sifting through these parts, whenever I see some green pieces, I try not to, like for example, I'm grabbing a bunch of 2x2s, and you can see I set out a bunch in green here. I try not to use green pieces because I think we're going to use those for the jungle section, so I'm trying to pull those out and set them aside as I'm going through these bins. So I'm just showing you guys that process. Okay, I know it's very messy, but this is what we got going on. So I have all these tan plates, not tan, green plates, and then all these green parts have been fished out of not only these bins, but I've been looking through some of these bins. Those are just like generic Lego, just a bunch of mixed stuff. So whenever I come across them, I'm trying to pull them out because I'm thinking like a lot of these are going to be useful for this section of the jungle area. So like there's a lot of olive green and sand green, like some of these pieces, like these 1x2s, like little parts like this are going to be great for detailing, so I'm trying to pull those out as I see them. And then going back to this, we have all these stacked up ready to go for these plates here, but I'm thinking I'm going to change up my approach here because this is what I was thinking. So if we put all green plates here, right, it'll just be a bunch of green. And then the way I want to do the rice paddy fields, like the water, is going to be with these transparent green parts here, more specifically the tile version. You can see there on the right, those are tiles, those are plates. I want to use the tiles. And so what I would do is I would push these on the plates, but I want the tiles to be flush with the plates. Right now you can see how they're not flush. It is currently proud, as they would call it. It's above the surface, and so I don't want that. So if I did that, I would have all green plates. I'd put down these studs for the water, and then that would be above the plate level, and I'd have to put more plates around it so it would be flush. Because basically, let's use this as an example here. This is what I kind of want. So you can see how these tiles here are flush with this plate. They're both, you know, on the same light or the same height. So that's what I want to accomplish. So I'm thinking that would just be a waste of plates. So what I want to do is I think I'm going to move all those. So those are all going to get moved, and I'm going to use dark tan. We're going to plate this whole area with dark tan. Then we'll put green plates on top of this dark tan plates, and that should be much better because what we'll be able to do is put these green studs directly on the dark tan, and then we'll be able to surround them with green plates. So I think that's a better idea, and I think that's what we're going to go with. You can see I was testing. What I was doing here is I was trying to figure out, since these are transparent to some degree, you can see through them and you can see the plate that they're on top of. So I was like, okay, what would tan look like? That doesn't look that good. Green looks fine. This is dark tan. Dark tan looks pretty cool, and I have a bunch of these 16x16 in dark tan, so I think we're going to go with dark tan. It's not much difference if you look through there than the green, so I think we're going to go with the dark tan simply because that's what I have a lot of. So I'm going to move all those little posts you see there. We're going to space them out like we did for these plates here, and I'm just going to go ham and just use up, because I got a good amount of these. I have a bunch there. I have a bunch more in there, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll come back and we'll just keep working on it, guys. Okay, so as you can see, this has changed since probably the last clip where you saw a bunch of those pillars lined up here. So like I mentioned, I moved all those, and now we elevated a bunch of these 16x16 plates in dark tan. This isn't all of them. I still have all of these tan ones, and like I said, I still think there's some more mixed in there. Plus I have like a bunch of white 4x6s. I have a bunch of other random plates we can use. The only reason I'm starting with these is because they're the easiest, they're the largest, and we can cover more ground quickly with them. So that's what we got going on there. So we got a really decent section, probably about 50% of this section here, you know, the rice paddy field. You know, I have these studs or these bricks kind of lining that, so this section here is about 50% done as far as elevating it goes, so that's good. I put a couple more plates down here, so I'm going to work on that some more. And then probably what I'm going to do for next week's video is I'm going to start using these tan ones, and I'm going to start elevating this section back here so we can work on the jungle. The jungle is probably the first section that we're going to be able to start working on as far as like probably next week or the following episode, because we're still waiting for those border pieces, and then we can't do much in this center section until we get the rest of those plates. And then I'm also ordering more parts, those transparent green parts, for the rice fields. So we got to wait for those. So we'll probably be able to work on the jungle and this, kind of bounce between those two, and then eventually get to this. So that's kind of where we're at as far as the mock goes, yeah. And these are all some of those green pieces that I've been sifting through. So we got all those, and then I also found this little boat. I don't think we'll use it, but I decided to keep it out just in case. But yeah, I'm really excited because once we get this section done, we can start elevating that area over there where the dense jungle will be, and then the road will be. I think it was last episode I did a poll on if you guys wanted me to keep that supply road, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys wanted me to. The last time I checked, I'll have to check again unless it's changed, but I think a lot of you guys want me to keep that supply road, so we can start working on that. I'm thinking for over here we'll have a slight elevation change, so it'll be flat, and then we'll kind of have like a hill. So this might be a little bit more elevated, but I'm really excited to start working on that because that's going to be cool. Dense jungle, it's going to be fun to work on that. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to cut to the giveaway winner from last week's episode. Then we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about a couple more things, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, we got the comments loaded up from episode 3. So we're going to pick the winner. Here we go. 1, 2, and the winner is 3. Boom, see Brick's tutorial. The mock is not much at this point, but everyone can see this has high potential. I'm staying tuned for the next video. I want to see where this is going. That's a great comment, Brick's tutorial. So all you have to do, make sure you send me a screenshot of you logged into your channel so I can verify it's you to my email through my website with your name, address, all that good stuff, and I'll get you that. I believe it was a marine figure in last week's giveaway. I'll double check, but shoot me an email and we can get that figured out. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode 4 of building the Tet Offensive Lego Battle Vietnam, whatever you want to call it, in Lego. And we made good progress. So a couple recaps. We almost finished the complete elevation of the city section. We got about 50% way done with the rice paddy field. We got parts on the way. I'm going to be ordering more parts once this video goes up. And next week I'm going to try and push for getting this completely elevated, this jungle section. That way we can start doing layout work on top of these plates, figure out what we want to do, and we can start actually building and putting detail down, you know, with different colored parts like that. And I'm really excited for that. We'll probably start with the road just to get that kind of done and then work around that. But that's where we're at, guys. Stay tuned. Every Sunday one of these videos comes up of me talking about this mock, and we're gonna, you know, we start here, and then, you know, probably in 30 or 40 weeks, this will be completely done, full of figures, and it'll look awesome. So I'm really excited to get to that point, and I hope you guys are as well. I tried to show off some more tips in this video than normal. Like, for example, I talked about how you can save some parts depending on how you're building things, and trying to do that more. Let me know if you guys like that. And other than that, make sure you guys check out last week's episode. I'll put a link right there. I'll put the complete playlist right there if you want to go back and re-watch some. And make sure you guys subscribe by clicking that button right there. That allows you to get notified when another video like this comes out. So thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you guys next Sunday.